Hi everyone, today I'd like to show you how I make my fancy bows. This is the die that I use to make all of my bows. It's a single die, but I can make single ones, double ones and triple ones from it. It's in 3 sections: the bow part, the tails and the wrap. So I'd like to show you how I make my fancy bows, and these are the ones with the flowers on. So after I've taken the die through the machine with my paper, I'm left with the bow part, the tail and the wrap. But we're not going to use the wrap today. So I'm going to work on wax paper just because we're using glue. And I start off for a single bow. I take the tail, put it to one side, and then the bow part I'm going to curl using my pokey tool or any other tool that you've got really. So it's just a simple curling method, and then we're going to glue the 2 ends of the bow. I'm going to use wet glue, so I'm going to put a dab of glue on either side of the back like so, and I'm going to press down for a count of 10 for it to start and take hold and attach itself. So once that happens and that starts drying, then you can attach it to the back of your tails. Now I like my tails a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut it in half like so, and then I'm going to place my tails where I want them to go. In this case I want them a little bit further apart like so, and I cheat. I put glue underneath the tails on the wax paper under both of them, and then I can position them basically where I want them to go underneath the bow. When they're dry they will just peel off the wax paper, so I'm happy with them like that, so we'll leave them in that position. Now even though the glue splodged out a little bit from underneath the paper, when it's dry, because it dries clear, you can cut that away from the paper so you would never know. So I'm literally going to put glue in the middle and then just on each of the tails like that, and I'm going to pop the bow in the middle down and press it and wait for it to just take hold. Again, the glue will splodge out underneath it, however when it's dry you can soon cut that off, so that's not an issue. Now if you were making a double bow, you would literally make 2 of these and put them side by side, or you would cut the second one in half. So what I mean is, if you were using another colour, you would literally fold the bow like so to make it, and then the second one you would make and fold it, snip it in half and attach it in the middle like that, so that they would overlap. So now my bow is starting to take hold and dry. Next we need to make some paper curls. So I've got some scrap paper that I'm literally just going to cut a very thin strip from. I'm using my pokey tool. I found that this is roughly the right width to make the paper curls. I'm winding it around like so, and you want 5 or 6 wraps around at least, because as it springs off you can see how you've got a narrower tail. So we're going to use this part to attach to our bow and it'll sit there. So next I just need to do another one for the other side because we want both sides to marry up. So again, another thin strip of paper. Now I actually think this is a good one for you to use your scraps up with, because you'll have so many different scraps and they'll all match in with different projects that you've done. You can use them to make the bows for more cards or for scrapbooking, etc. So there we go, that's my other tail. So I'm happy with that. So those two will go either side of the bow. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach them to the bow. You might need to use tweezers for this, or you might get away with it with your fingers. Depends what size your curls are and how big your bow is. So once they've been popped on to the centre of the bow, the next thing that you want are some leaves. So I've literally cut out 2 leaf shapes from green paper, and I'm going to curl it slightly at one end like so, and I'm going to do the same with the second one like so. And then the end that's not curled, I'm going to use my glue again and put another 2 dots onto the bow, and using my tweezers I'm going to pick up the leaves. Now because the curls are wet, they will start moving, but you'll be able to position it all when you're finished before it dries. So put one leaf at one side, and I'm putting the other one over the top of the curl at the other side like so. And then I've made a paper rose and I've put some stamens in the centre, and I'm going to pop that in the centre of my bow like so, again using the glue. Now the glue will run and attach itself to the leaves as soon as I pop the rose into the centre, and again you'll be able to cut off any excess when it's dry. So then we pop the rose there like so, and then all it is simply time to let that dry. Once it's dry, you'll be able to peel it away from the wax paper and trim any of the excess glue that's against the edges. So that is how I make my pretty bows, and I'd like to thank you very much for watching. See you again.